Orange team.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
Dan,
Ooh, and this is Board Game Rundown.
Cut me off. I don't know what happened. I just really wanted to go third that time.
We scared Dan. Today we're gonna do a topic. So not necessarily a top 10, but just something, a list of games.
Open discussion.
Unnumbered, and an open discussion on our top 10 or not top 10. I just said we're not doing top 10. We're going to do a discussion on our biggest surprises and disappointments of 2022.
Okay, I didn't know it was supposed to be game specific. You just said surprise.
It doesn't have to be.
Okay, because mine are not specific games.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't have
I
to be.
definitely took it as game specific when I heard it.
I mean, it is a board game show.
Sure,
Do what
but
you want, Bob.
okay.
No.
what's your
But I will say there's just surprises with the experiences also that I have had this year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So anyways, before we get into that though, Bob.
Yeah. People should do some things.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell,
Oh, yeah.
share with your friends and family.
Because if you were already subscribed, you would have seen that we gave Frosthaven away to
Give it
someone.
away. Just, here you go. How much do they charge for that?
Oh, it was free plus shipping, which was.
Gratis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lower 48. Lower US
Lower
48.
yeah.
So, anyways, we're going to do more things like that. I don't know that they will all be as epic
As that.
as Frosthaven,
Sure.
but we, if we
do
can give
things like
away,
that.
we
Yeah.
can give away a game. Somebody wants it. Why not? Right? So, anyways, biggest surprises and disappointments for this year.
Sure.
Does not have to be game related. Bob,
Yeah.
do you want to go first?
Well, I guess one of my biggest surprises and one of my favorite things about the year was the conventions that we got to go to.
Yeah.
We got to go to Origins, and then we got to go to Gen Con, and we got to meet new people, make new friends in the industry. We went to help out DV Games with a booth, which was super cool. But we also got to do a bunch of actual rundown stuff. And that was
Yes.
fantastic. We had
So
cameras,
much.
walking around, interviewing people, and just taking footage of everything that happened. That was super cool to me.
Yes.
Yeah. I
loved
Yes. There was some amazing things.
Yeah.
Amazing things that happened. So yeah, if you want to go on experiences, I will just say Dan and I walking around at Origins, and we walk by Merchants of the Dark Road, their booth. They're getting taught,
I got it pulled up right now.
and I don't remember if it was Dan or me. We're like, oh, it's a really good game. We liked it.
Yep.
And what was his name, Dan?
Brian, I don't know how to say his last name. Suhre.
Sure.
For some reason, I would pronounce that Shore, even though the H is not in that
Right.
position.
No,
Right.
but it's almost like the Celtic pronunciation, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, yes, he goes, oh, I know. I watch your guys' show.
Yeah.
And I go, you don't have to say that.
Right. And he was like, "No, I've been around forever. I remember when you guys first changed mics, and and that was a whole process." And we were like, but of course at the table we were like, "Oh yes, well thank you very much." That's our insight.
Internal.
Dan and I get 10 feet away, and I go, Dan, we must run away now.
Yeah. Dan, you said something about we need to run away. What just happened? And I said we will never speak of this again.
And here we are.
You haven't stopped.
Yeah.
It blew our minds.
It did.
man.
It really did. It was really
sure.
exciting. It was pretty fantastic. So yes, building on that convention, that specific convention experience. I mean, there's so many amazing convention experiences that we had.
Yeah.
But yeah. That was just one.
It's just
that comes
crazy
to
because
mind.
I literally remember once he said that and I looked him up because I didn't know his name at the time. I was like, yeah, sure enough. There's a guy who used to comment on our BGG videos as we uploaded him named Sherman, whatever, right? Suhre and then a suffix. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I literally remember I've read and responded to his message before, and I was like, oh my God, that's been the Merchants of the Dark Road designer this whole time.
amazing.
Yeah, and he's all
that's-
like, "You guys suck. And
Yeah.
kill yourself.
He was like, I saw you guys' review of my game. Never touch my stuff again. Yeah, a lot of that.
Please
kind of
go
stuff.
play in traffic."
That's my favorite game.
this was my first gaming convention and
Okay.
second gaming convention. So, it was very surprising. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I can't wait to go
I guess
back.
it wasn't a surprise to me that I enjoyed it, but
Right.
the things that happened
yeah.
therein,
Yeah.
we had some amazing surprises. At least for me personally. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Anybody want to hit on just Origins or anything else from Origins while we're at Origins?
I don't know. I'm just gonna jump around if I'm being
Sure,
real
that's fine.
honest.
I was surprised at the movie theater in Bob's parents' basement.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I definitely might have told some people about that. 'Cause that blew my mind. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Crazy.
Didn't
Yeah,
they
they're
have
great
Rock
people.
Band down there too?
Yeah, technically that was my
God.
Rock Band. I leave it there because my nieces play it all the time. So yeah, full ensemble.
Next
2
time-
guitars, microphone.
Next
drum
time we
kit.
go, we got to go like an
Gotta
hour
rock
earlier
out.
so we're not too tired.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
No doubt. Spencer, how about a surprise for you?
Mine are all games that I wrote down.
That's fine. Hit it.
Surprise. Let's go for a good surprise. Return to Dark Tower.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that came out this year.
Because you were surprised that it was good? Is
Well,
that
after I talked to Bob, and he started talking about the other games from Restoration Games that he didn't like.
especially
And
Fireball
I started
Island.
getting nervous because considering how much money I spent on it. And I got it, and it's like my number 1 or number 2 favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
So
No, it is
My
a
gosh.
complete 180 from what Fireball
yeah,
Island.
they
Complete,
totally
yes,
hit it out of the
yes.
park with this game.
I mean, it couldn't get farther away from production quality, quality of the game. I know, really, Fireball Island, whatever. It was a toy then, it's a toy now, but still the, like, just the way that the fact that you could buy a better version of that game on a retail shelf for
Right.
a quarter of what people kickstarted it for
yeah.
is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So the fact that,
And the box is nicer.
well, that's what I mean. Just
Yeah.
like quantity,
Yeah,
quality of even just your most
Basic
basic
component.
component,
Yeah.
like just not being made of like those
Flimsy.
boxes that you put like shirts in before you wrap them and give them to somebody for
Yeah,
Christmas.
that's basically the kind of box, like a real thin box like that.
yeah, and it kind
Or
of
like a
it
donut
feels
box.
like it could just fold up in the
Yeah.
sides. Yeah, thanks for
then-
putting this in my donut box.
And then
Yeah.
you look at the insert from Dark Tower, and you're like, this thing it's beautiful. It's art.
Yeah, it's intricate and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I was really relieved for you
Yeah.
that it was good.
And I was
because-
bummed I didn't bag it.
Right.
Disappointment on your
That's
your
fine.
end.
Yeah, there you go. There's my
Yeah.
disappointment. Boop.
Dan,
Me.
how about a surprise or disappointment for you, sir?
Oh, you're just showing the one I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, I have one giant surprise and one giant disappointment. I guess I'll do surprise first so that I'm positive with all you guys. I actually think I'm trying to go through my list here, but by just kind of scrolling through it, I actually think what might have been my biggest surprise game-wise, because for me it came out of nowhere. I loved it. I wanted to buy it. I played it again. I loved it. What is Planet Unknown, honestly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
genuinely
Good
think that
good
might have
call.
been the biggest surprise for me game-wise. Like, I hadn't heard a single thing about it until Andrew started pestering me.
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, okay.
And just like, hey, we need to play this. Hey, we need to play this. And it's not that I didn't want to. It was just
Right.
that, it didn't make it a table. It didn't make it a table. And then it finally made a table. And it is a fantastic game by Apple something. What is it?
Adam's Apple.
Adam's
Is
Apple
it really
Games.
Adam's Apple? I was going to say that.
Or
Okay.
Apple, yeah, Adam's Apple.
Adam's Apple.
By Adam's Apple Games, and it's a polyomino sci-fi themed amazing game.
Yeah.
I guess not drafting, but like one person picks what they want and then you get stuck with yours, but then it's on a rotating
Yeah.
board, so then on
Lazy
your turn
Susan.
you pick what you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
and
Right.
they get stuck with what
It's a
you've
cool
done
mechanic.
and everything. And yeah, you're just placing them
Simultaneous
out.
turns, though, which is super cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taking off, a lot of taking off mechanics in that game, which again might be why I like it so much. A lot of really good things. Simultaneous turns is starting to be more and more. It's a great addition to the hobby. Partner goals, like
Yeah, neighbor goals.
Oh, yeah, that was
neighbor
pretty cool.
goals.
That was
They
pretty
go
cool.
in between your neighbors, and you're only fighting them for it. Is an amazing addition to the hobby. That's really
Doing
taking
the map,
off.
but you're also moving your rover.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. you're
Tons
doing
of
that.
asymmetrical.
Yeah, super asymmetric, which is kind of taking off, but also is just a super thing in this group.
Right.
Replayability off the charts in that game. So I think that there's just so many positives for that game. The only negative I have for that game is it's just hard to get and expensive. But once I have it in my collection, it's a jumbotron. Like I'm jumbling them together and then felt like saying Tron.
Yeah.
But like once I own it though, I'll never have to think of those negatives again, and it's gonna be in my top 50 at least, maybe top 30 for a long time. I think.
Sure. No, that's great. Before we get too far into the video, does anybody have Andrew on their list? So he can just stop
Well,
watching now?
we're doing the good
Disappointments,
stuff now.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I added
okay.
to my disappointments.
He'll tune in for that anyway. Hear himself
I
talk
will
about it.
admit, it's fun having someone down the street from me. I can walk to
Yeah,
his house,
sure.
basically.
Oh, I can think of something. Euchre.
Oh, one of your favorite things.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Still haven't played it.
just making fun of Andrew.
Yeah,
People
no.
who haven't been around long
It's
enough.
all good. It's all good. Okay, so I guess the surprise that is an experience as well is just how much our channel's grown.
Oh yeah.
Like this year,
Yep.
we were always growing relatively steadily, and we've talked about this in other shows and stuff. But again, I just am so excited about it. How exponentially our growth is this year, and I mean, all signs are good, you
Right.
know, and it's just encouraging because it's more motivation to just keep pouring energy and love and everything into this. And I mean, not that it'd take a lot for me to not want to do this show anymore,
Yeah.
but it's just even more of a boost, you know, and that's because of, I mean, everybody watching and you guys here, you know, it's all just a big collaborative effort. But surprised that we gained over 1,000 subs in like now it's been like 6 months or 8 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, just crazy town.
I think it's been quite a bit more than that. I'm
Well,
pretty
we were like
sure
700 something in
That's
April.
what I'm saying.
and then-
700 something was April,
and now we're 2,200
yeah.
something.
So
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So
Pretty awesome.
math is not my strong point, but it
That's
doesn't
why he
have
keeps
to be.
losing the games.
Yeah, that's it. Only the math ones. Bobby, what you got?
All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and I'll pick a couple of games then that came out this year that I was super surprised by and happy about. Wonderland's War. Like Mike.
What's that?
Wonderland's War is a.
Do you have a review of that one?
Yeah. It's a area majority type game themed with Alice in Wonderland. It's got bag building and it's got a really neat way you seed the board and build your hand up as far as getting your bag and your people, your supporters out on the board. And just like Mike pestered us quite a bit to play that, and I kind of put him off, and then I finally played it, and I was like, this game is really good. I had a really good time playing it, so I had to go out and get my own copy. Finally got these guys to play. We don't have to go into what your feelings are about the game right now, but
It's already been reviewed.
My feelings are positive.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
not.
You seem a little salty because your second round was not so good.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
Yeah.
But that is not. I think it's a good game.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it'd probably be like a 7.5 for me.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Sure. I mean,
I'd be right around there as well, and I'll say,
and I thought the Tea Party was amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
no, you're good.
Tea Party is super cool.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite part.
Agreed.
Well, my character also manipulated it, which might have helped me. But yes, I
Right.
think that's probably my favorite part. I'll mention it because you're mentioning it. Yeah, this is on my surprise list, but more so just because I didn't think I was going to like it at all.
Right.
And the fact that I enjoyed it, it's not a 10 out of 10 game for me.
Sure.
It probably wouldn't make it in my 10 of the year. You know, it'd be close. It was good. I was surprised that I had fun, if I'm being honest. Like, I just tend
'Cause
not to
some
like
some
it
mechanics you don't
shares
care for.
mechanics
Yeah.
with a lot of things that I don't enjoy. And honestly, it just handled them in a really interesting way. Like, I know this is a negative for you. I'm not trying to review the game here or something, but I like the fact that by stopping the player in the lead once everyone else loses, it feels like a balancing mechanic in a push your luck game like Quacks that can go on forever. Like, you know, if 3 people explode in Quacks and one person just draws and goes all the way to the end and gets 8 million points.
Right.
Okay, well, they won in round 1. What do we do now? Obviously,
Yeah.
wouldn't have enough things to get
Sure,
that many
but
points,
yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. And so it just felt like this balancing mechanic in this mechanism I don't enjoy usually, you know? It has a bidding thing in it, but it's so simple. Who cares? You know, like it's such an easy way to implement. The area majority was an interesting type to manipulate with the units staying out and with the city showing up stuff. Yeah, there were just a lot of things that maybe I don't love, or maybe that I like but don't love, or maybe things I don't like, and then some things that I like but don't love. And I think it combined them all in an interesting way, and I liked it more than I thought that I would. So it
Yeah.
also
Good.
made my list.
I also liked it more than I thought I would. I wouldn't say I was surprised by it.
Okay.
But
Right.
I get it. But you were coming in with like an even.
Very negative.
Yeah, very
connotation.
negative.
Like my apprehension was more like this game has been so hyped
Sure.
by people around me,
Yeah.
and like, you know, Jason from Board Game Mechanics loves this game and stuff, and it's like, okay, is it really that great? No, but I actually did like
Better
it
than you
more,
thought it would be.
more than I thought, and I'd even thought a lot about it after playing. And a game that some of the games that I'm going to talk about, like that were like disappointing to me, I have barely thought about, other than go, oh yeah, I didn't really like that.
right.
Like Wonderland's War, even with my bad round and some of my complaints about the way and the flip of that, Dan, is like, yes, you are right. It's no fun to watch somebody already in the
Just sit
lead
there,
just
keep
keep
going.
going.
Right.
But like that might have been my only chance to like make some of my
That's true.
things-
Make up some ground.
The
Yes.
game does not have catch-up mechanisms, and I think it desperately needs it. I cannot
Sure.
argue that.
So-
our score wasn't that off, but
No.
yes, I think this catch-up mechanism would have been good.
But I also feel like your point is valid.
Right.
So I just you know, it's like, well,
Right, and I get yours too, because it's a bad feeling that like, oh well, I'm being punished for having a good engine.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and I get that.
for my engine procking the one time I needed it to,
Right.
like almost, or everybody else just getting their objective and then
Right.
stopping.
Yep, I did that half the time.
Yeah, no,
Because you can get a lot of points just by completing objectives and not winning in certain territories.
Right. So, anyways,
Yep.
no, totally fair though, and yeah, I'm not gonna crap on the game. It was a good game.
Good. I'm glad you guys liked it.
You haven't
I was
played it,
I was very
so no,
surprised
I've not played it
at
yet.
how much I enjoyed it.
Sure,
Right.
no, that's awesome. I guess I could write down. I was surprised about how much everybody seems to enjoy this game.
That's
Now I'm going to have to play it.
Yeah.
No, I think you'd like it. It's got a lot of really interesting mechanics, and they all do blend very well together. Yep. So
So I'm gonna hit on a disappointment now. I like the idea of us kind of hitting the big boys right now because
Yeah.
it's stuff that all of us can
yeah.
kind of have input in, right? So you mentioned Wonderland's War, but it scratches it off of 2 lists and stuff like that, right? So if we're talking about disappointments of the year, we have to talk about what might have been our first video this year. It was uploaded on January 7th.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God.
And that is The Great Wall.
Oh my God. Such a disappointment.
The Great Wall hurt me because I actually feel like, and I love this reaction, because I actually genuinely feel like when we reviewed it, when we talked about it, I disliked it the most. Like, I remember having a really passionate feeling about that. And the fact that, though, I bring it up, everyone goes, ugh. Like, I'm just like, yeah, exactly.
See, it has the potential to be such a good game, and I think it could still be a good game. But I have never sold a game because I didn't like it before.
Oh, sure.
until now,
That's really hard for me, too. I don't know if I have either. Yeah. But yeah, it is a
I have.
Awaken.
Same.
They own way more games than us.
Nice thing.
It is an Awakened Realms game. Is that Adam Kopinski as well?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either, because I have all his games written on a list somewhere, and I don't remember Great Wall.
Yeah, they're on the
Oh, wait, I have-
written
do I have
in
it up
pen
still?
on your wall, like
Right. With
hearts.
slowly
With
getting
hearts all around.
scratched out.
Lipstick in the
Let's see. I'm gonna pull
Pull
up.
out a
I'm gonna
lipstick
pull
on
up
that
Great
wall.
Wall really quick, guys. Sorry, that's not it.
No, so anyways, while Dan's looking up,
Yep.
one of the tough things about Great Wall, it has some very, very cool mechanics, and I like what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
And
I kind of enjoyed that
conceptually,
theme and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and conceptually, like, this sounds really good. And then the execution, for some reason, just falls completely flat for me. And I don't, again, right? Like, I need to try it at 3 players. I've said that every time we talk about that
true.
game, but it's been a year
And they're 2
almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been almost a year, and it's really hard to want to get that game to the table
Right.
when I've got other games that I'd rather
Exactly.
play. I mean, you know, Planet Unknown, Wonderland's War, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, Ankh, I don't anything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really tough. It's really tough. Yes, Great Wall was on my list
Yeah.
for those reasons.
Like
It's
a
just-
semi-cooperative, like tower defense type game
Yeah.
could be so cool.
Yeah, it's also it's overly long, and I hate the excuse. It's just a personal thing that you need to play it with lower player counts. Only because me as a gamer always wants to play with high
Higher
player
player
counts.
counts.
I like the social interaction. I say let's just
I
have
mean-
all 5 of us play this,
Or
you
just
know?
make it a 3-player game.
and
Yeah.
oh sure
If it's
Cap it at
unplayable,
3.
if it's unplayable at 5 players, which
Right.
it virtually is,
Yeah.
right.
don't make it a 5-player
And
game.
what I'm saying though is, so by then making a 3-player game, which is the smartest choice and everything, it does make me less interested in the game. Oh, I can't play with as many people, kind of thing. So when you start getting that kind of thing, that hurts me. I will just say, just because I took the time to look it up, it has 3 designers: Camille, Robert, and Lucas. I can't pronounce your last names. I'm very sorry.
None of
I
them
just
are
don't want to butcher
Kopinski.
it. No. So yeah, it is not them, but it is Awakened Realms, and and again, like you said, it has some really cool mechanics, really cool ideas in there, and
And it is actually
one
still
of the-
liked. People do actually like
Yeah,
this game.
yeah. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like universally hated.
No, no, no,
It
no.
just
Yeah,
did
no.
not work in our group.
I'm looking
If you look at our
7.9, that's
BGG,
massively
even
high
on our
score.
YouTube comments, like there were a lot of people coming at us for our negative review of this game.
Yeah, there was some
But we had
controversy.
so many. Our first bad experience with this game was because 2 of the characters we had played were so imbalanced versus everyone
yeah.
else.
Yeah, it's
it was terrible.
And you guys even found something online about that, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
And the guy doubled down and said, "No, this is how it should be." And we're like, "Then that's terrible. We're just not playing with those characters." And then when we didn't play with those characters, it only made it marginally better because there was still ways to make it completely unbalanced.
Yeah, it just
It was
just
unfortunate.
doesn't come quite together. Like, I wish they would almost do like an errata, like and
Oh, yeah.
revamp a bunch of the rules.
Yeah,
And-
make a different game.
We'll just
I don't
rewrite
know.
the rules entirely.
I just feel like there's a really good game potentially
Somewhere
in
in
that
there.
box.
Yeah.
There is
With all the
somewhere.
different things that it
Yeah.
does, but it doesn't do it. No, Great Wall, great pick.
Oh, I got a good one.
A disappointing
My
one.
biggest disappointment of the year was not Great Wall.
Oh, nice.
Cat in a Box.
Oh yeah,
That's on my list, but
buddy.
it ain't my biggest one.
Because when I saw it, it was hyped up so much. It looked so good. I really wanted to want this game and to like this game. And then I played it and I was like, oh, I do not like this game. It was, I don't think I've ever given a game less than 5 until now.
I was not in that review because I didn't want to be that mean. That's
I was.
literally. If you go back and watch the review, I am off camera. I am there that day, and I said, guys, I don't want to be in this review. I'm in a bad mindset right
Little
now.
did Dan know we were all gonna, except for
Yeah,
Bob.
they all kind of tanked it anyway.
Rick,
But
I enjoyed it.
No, there are plenty of people who like this game.
Plenty of people.
But for me, it was a major disappointment.
Me too.
I will say for me, it was a disappointment because I went into it thinking I was going to hate it, and I hated it.
Yeah,
I-
you don't like
I
trick-taking
don't like
games.
trick-taking games. And
I
people are like,
love-
oh, but this one's so cool. No, it wasn't.
I love trick taking games. I love trick taking games. I came in really wanting to like it and was just really disappointed by it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great concept.
I'll play it again.
Yeah,
but-
the area control thing is a fascinating concept. Put it in a good mechanism.
Ooh, damn.
I just hate trick-taking games. I'm going to get so much hate for that.
Well, then I'll if we're just gonna like just make people
Tank
mad.
it. Yeah.
We're gonna make people mad. I will be the only one whose game this is on their list for this reason. It might be on other people's list on the other side of it, but Foundations of Rome was the most disappointing game for
No,
me
that's on my list too.
of the year.
For
For
disappointing?
disappointing?
Only because it didn't quite meet my expectations.
Okay.
I still think it's a good game.
Have you played it with all the modules yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or at least most
Okay.
of the modules yet?
I think so.
Anyway, Tim.
Go ahead, Tim.
I
Do your
just-
poo-pooing.
Yeah, no, this is a very well designed game that I just do not like to play. I came into this game wanting to play this game, wanting to love this game. I mean, it does a lot of things that I love. I mean, it does things similar to, Dan likes to point out, Lords of Vegas, a game I love. But I play this game, I don't have fun. I play Lords of Vegas, I do have fun.
Right.
It's got amazing components.
Yep.
Amazing components.
yeah.
One of the most, win out on the table, one of the most beautiful board games I've ever seen. Hands down. One of the best inserts I've ever seen in a game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The
It's
way the
fantastic.
player
boards
trays
and everything, yeah.
the way the player trays like just work and you're instantly set up, incredible.
Right.
I just find the gameplay vastly
Lacking.
dissatisfying.
Yeah.
And for what it is, and just like
Particularly the price.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've bagged on the price before for what it is. I've spent a lot of money on games as well, like one game, or whatever, or put a lot of money into Great Wall, right? Big disappointment. But at least I felt like Great Wall was crunchy, maybe too crunchy. But I think Foundations of Rome, for me and what I was expecting, was almost too light. Like if you go on a complexity of Foundations of Rome, I would say it's like a 1.5 to 2.
I was gonna say probably a 2, maybe a 2.5. But two, yeah.
but like way lighter. And I would want it just a little bit more. Like it doesn't have
That's
to be. It does not have to be like a
four
Vital
or five.
Lacerda.
Yeah,
you know what I
Lacerda
mean?
game,
Like
yeah.
it does not have to be a splatter. So, anyways, I just thought I was just so disappointed because I came in like red hot, wanting to love this game, and I just didn't. And I'm like, what is going on? And I played it again, and I was still like, it's just not clicking. Again, fine being in the minority for that. It's a very well designed game. I mean, like all the mechanics, it's very teachable. It's very accessible. I seen you go to, obviously we have meetups and everything. People want to play the game and people seem to love it.
I was going to say, yesterday at the meetup, there's a bunch of people that wanted to play. I sat out. I taught 5 people how to play. I got them going on the first era, and then they were off on their own and able to play the rest of the time.
Unless they had to take a turn back.
Let's say they take a turn back. But there was only one person there that she had played once before.
Okay.
But other than that, everybody else was brand new.
Now, did
But
she
they all-
skunk everybody having played
Nope,
before?
nope.
Okay, good. Good deal.
But they all had a really good time playing it. People were coming in going, "Oh my gosh, what's this game?"
Yeah.
Because that table presence, like this would
Good
be. Oh,
table
I want
presence.
to play that. I want to play.
As
that.
you should.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause it
friggin'
looked
amazing looking
yeah,
game.
and it went over really well. And it tends to. It seems like almost every meetup I do, which is usually 2 times a month or something like that, like that game gets played, and and not always just by me, by
Hey,
other people.
Your
and
cost
it's
per
loved.
play is going down
Coming
very
way
quickly.
down, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I
you
do
should
want
be.
to play it
Yeah.
again.
Huh? Oh yeah, I totally
Yeah.
play again.
But-
I just for like 5 new people though, like I was like, you know what? I'm
yeah.
just gonna sit out. I will teach you because
Yeah.
like somebody else had walked up like, oh, is there spots? I'm like, have my seat. You'll have a better time if I don't play. So at least I'm a little self-aware with that.
But for me, when I saw it, I was expecting it to be like a 9.5 or a 10 for me, and it ended up being a 7.
Yeah.
So I was like, I still like it. I still want to play it.
Yeah.
I just was
Not as
underwhelmed.
good. Yeah, underwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Someday I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, Tim.
Okay.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't like bad arguments, and I'm not saying that you're like an idiot or anything, but I'm just like I want to know because it will help us learn and grow as gamers.
Like, he might
because
not be able
it's not
to
well, it's not
identify what it is.
Well, I know,
That
and that's what I'm
happens.
saying. I
Yeah,
want us to
I-
get to the bottom
I
because
can't put
it's
my
not,
finger on
right
it.
because it's not price. You own more expensive games. It's not the weight versus the price. You just rated a much lighter game that is almost $100 a 9.
Only because of the secondary market.
Sure, but still,
MSRP
that's
is
what
for
you
50.
would. That's what you'd have to pay for it though. At this point, and you rate it well, so that doesn't affect the score.
Sure.
Right? It can't be the basic mechanisms because you like games that do that. So like, part of me is like, is it because you just had a bad time playing it, which literally happened to me with smartphone, and that's fine.
Sure.
Is it because you don't care about the theme? That's totally viable as
No,
well.
I love the theme.
I love the theme.
Okay, then I don't know.
I love the theme, and I didn't like it.
I just want
both-
like a chemistry test.
Yeah. No, and I didn't like it both times that I played it.
Right,
You know, like,
right.
and one time was very specifically Bob, like, not only like, I don't care that I lose badly, but
Yeah.
like, I got my whole engine.
And your whole
screwed.
yeah.
end game scoring thing set up, and then I took it away from you.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have
Literally,
won.
I took his card and said, "No, you're gonna score something."
Yeah,
else."
I wouldn't have won, but it was literally taken away from me, and I was already kind of like, I don't know how I feel about
Right.
this, and then it was like,
Right, 100%.
You know,
that
and-
would do it to me too.
and then the second time I played it, I'm like, I get it. I mean, I'm seeing all
I
these
love that
things,
sentence.
and I understand it. I'm just still not enjoying myself like I thought I might, because
I want that on like the Kickstarter page next time it goes on. Board game rundown. I get it.
I get it. But it's gotta be. It's also
New
gotta have, like, a
slogan.
shrug.
I get it.
Get it.
Get it.
I love that.
No, I wish that I could just say, I
Right.
don't like this.
Right.
Because that's what baffles me.
No, yeah, and there are games I'm the same way where I'm just like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that.
I love the theme. I love the components. You're right. Price. Bob's got his cost per play way down, way down, and that's really where it's at, right?
Especially because he charges people to play with him.
Yeah. But I mean, if you spend $300 on a game, no judgment, but
Right.
you only get to play that
Stupid.
game once.
Oh yeah.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not even necessarily a game. I mean, it could be the game's fault because the game is, it takes 3 hours to play or whatever, or you just can't teach anybody. But also, though, buy games that cater to your groups.
Yep.
Right.
You purchase the game that not only interests you, but like because of your position in the gaming community in our area, right?
Bottom.
You and I organize a lot of game plays, game nights, things like that, like all of us do.
Right.
And so to be able to provide a game that is going to be very accessible to a lot of people is very valuable.
Yeah.
That is a very valuable thing to have in your
Yeah.
collection as a
Accessibility is
host.
nice.
Right.
See,
Right?
I don't have to pay the massive amount of money to play this game because you have it.
No, but like it's like your Return to Dark Tower, right?
Oh, yeah,
You
that-
dropped a bunch of money on it. It's heavier.
The playback, the what do you call it?
Cost per play.
Cost per play. Cost
Yes.
per play on that. It's like pennies now.
Yeah,
Played so many times.
But you get
That's
it played.
awesome.
You get it played with other people. You play it at home with your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that's fantastic. right?
Meanwhile, I bought Twilight Imperium 4 and haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But
Hey, selfish shame. There you go. You were asking about that. Yay!
but no, I just. But again, though, there's some games you have that you just want to own,
Yep.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like so, TI4 could be one of those for me. I have 3, right?
Right.
I have 3. Whatever. I haven't played my copy of 3 in like 6 years. Do I want to get rid of it? No, because I love that game. I always just want to have it. I like the big coffin box. It's just as a collector, it is a nice, fun thing to have, and it's a great game.
Yep.
But anyways, Dan, I don't know either.
I know. We're all a little mad here.
What we got
I
next?
love because people are gonna laugh. I love that Tim and I both raised our hands just as like the yay, but then we were like, I mean, we might as well high five. Well, we're up here. We might as well high five.
That's 10.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay, I think we're on Spencer.
Okay,
after
sure,
that.
Doesn't matter.
After that,
Well, you know what? Let's change it from disappointing to good surprise.
Good.
This is not a new game, but it was new to me,
sure.
and they're coming out with a new one. In fact, it was on Kickstarter, and it went through. So, Star Realms,
Oh, the
Oh,
legacy.
yeah, the
Is that what
legacy
you're
the
talking
Star
legacy
about?
version of Star Realms.
Yeah.
I've never seen the game before. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to be that good."
Yeah.
How many times have we played so far?
I mean, Spencer and I have now, since Origins, had an ongoing game of Star
yeah,
Wars.
all the time.
Not the legacy thing. That's out yet,
No,
right?
no,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no,
talking
just
about-
but I'm
digital,
getting it.
Right.
just digitally. Like I've got one with Patrick and Julia and Spencer going.
Yeah, and I keep trying to get my family members and friends to do it, and so far it's just you.
That's
But
all right.
Eventually, I will have friends.
I wouldn't bank on it.
Clearly, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I get it.
You're just not enough. Yeah, it's not enough.
Not enough.
Right.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Oh,
Usually it's too much, to be honest. Like
that's
Tim,
fair.
too much.
dial it
But
back.
I mean, it was a very good game. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you like it. I thought you would when we were kind of talking about it because I believe you were buying the camera when I played it at Origins for that.
And
And
then
I was kind of like Spencer.
then he
I
was
think
so
you were
interested,
really
he
like
sat
it.
down for a while. I remember that in the video.
Yeah.
and then when we were at Gen Con, I went there and played it again.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know
fantastic,
that. Nice.
fantastic. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Dan, you want to go next?
Oh, sure. I think it was on you, Tim, but
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
gladly go. So let's get back in positive mindset for a little bit. I don't like two-player games. That was a
Positive.
I don't like two-player games.
Oh, I know which one you're gonna start with.
And Bob and I had a day here early on in the year where it was just us that were able to show up, and
Ooh, a
so
date.
we knocked out a couple. Yeah, basically, we knocked out a couple games. We played Paint the Roses, which
Yep.
didn't make my list, but that was fun. We played something else. Oh, Letter Jam. That's the
Yep,
day we learned
we-
Letter Jam.
yep.
That was fun. Nice little game. And then we played Watergate, which was actually borrowed from the editor. He brought it in and he was like, hey, I think you guys will like this. And it's my favorite two-player game. Watergate was fantastic. Again, not new to this year. It was new to me. And it was just a surprise of how much I have not only played since that day that we played it and reviewed it, but have just taught other people and sat and watched. Because I was just like, you guys are going to love this. Like, I love
Not creepy.
the game that Watergate offers you, the mind games that you're doing to where the person is playing a spatial game of trying to connect the dots to lead to the evidence. And meanwhile, the other guy knows the evidence but is putting it face down. And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I want a yellow, right? Is there a yellow out there and stuff? And this game is so fascinating to me. And also the historical thing does a lot for me. I really like that. Now, it is a historical moment I don't care that much about, if I'm being totally honest. The whole Watergate scandal, it could be about something more interesting to me. But the fact that it is historical and you're going through the actual evidence, the actual, whistleblowers and stuff like this,
Yeah.
fascinating
See, and that
to me.
theme is a draw for me.
Sure.
Right. So it's interesting. I mean,
All the
it's not
Kingsmen
a,
or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a knock on you that the theme doesn't matter to you, but like,
Right.
But like for me, like, no, that's a draw. And I also don't have the negative feelings initially towards two-player games either.
Sure.
So it's really
I
interesting.
really think you'll like it.
so it's really interesting, right? Because theme doesn't matter to you,
Right.
And with this particular
Right.
theme doesn't matter to you. You don't like two-player games,
Right.
But you love this game.
Amazing.
Dan, you don't make sense.
I know.
Logic. I don't understand it.
That's why.
It's the opposite.
That's why
just
this is the
that
surprise
well-designed.
episode.
yeah.
This game is just that well designed to me. The puzzle you're doing, I do like spatial, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
and
sure.
I
there's
do
big
like
spatial
deduction.
Yeah.
It does have some stuff in it I really like, and I think they just things I really don't like, things I really like. Right? It's
But they
it's-
nailed it,
they're
though.
fighting on the momentum track. But anyway, yes. I don't know, Bob, if you had anything to say about this. Not that it was on your surprise list.
Yeah, it's
but
not my
just
surprise
since
list,
you played it.
But no, I really enjoyed that game. I like that spatial part where you're trying to like connect the strings and the evidence back and then back to the other reporters and
Follow
everything
the
like
money.
that. Yeah,
It's that
and you're,
easy.
yeah, and then you're pushing the clues back and forth
Right,
and trying
you're
to like
fighting
be the
over
ones
that.
to grab them so you can place them face down or face up on the board. Like, I
Listen,
think that's
it's
super
Spiro
interesting.
Agnew, like everybody knows.
But no, yeah, I really enjoyed that game and it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I just wasn't expecting it to be so high in my favorite games list for being a two-player game. Like before Watergate, it was basically for me just Seven Wonders Duel. I was like, oh, we need to play two-player? I have Seven Wonders Duel, right? I played some other that are fine, but that was like my go-to. And then Watergate killed it for me.
See, and again, like what's interesting to me theme-wise is it's not just Watergate, right? But I think presidential politics, especially when you are like 20 plus years
Right.
removed, because so many things that'll happen then are still having effects now.
Yeah.
And it's really hard
History
to
repeats.
tell what is happening right now, what that's going to do 20 years from
Right?
now.
It trickles down through the years.
So that is
I
one of
know-
the
I
things
know
about
terms.
the themes. One of the things about the theme for me that is very interesting is because I am fascinated with that aspect of it and that aspect of politics. What were you going to say, Bob? I'm sorry, I jumped in, but okay.
no, you were definitely in the middle of
Yeah,
sentence.
no. I was gonna ask you, have you played Star Wars Rebellion?
Yes.
And you liked Watergate more than
Remember, the
Rebellion?
combat is that bad.
You don't play
he
the
hasn't-
expansion.
he
I
hasn't
haven't
played
played
with
the. I
expansion.
hate the combat. It ruins the game.
Oh
for me.
no,
forgot.
Bob! We'll have to play one of our all-time favorite games with Dan to hopefully.
I still have
Only
shown
if we
it.
do it 4 players.
Uh,
No, no, yeah, I loved everything about that game, and then the combat literally brings that game from like a 9 to like a 6 max for me. I
We
hate
should try it
it
with the new combat.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, cool. I guess I'll go then. So we already talked a little bit about this, but Merchants of the Dark Road was a game that, like, I was aware of when it was on Kickstarter. Thought it was cool, but never really was sure if I was going to play it, whatever. And then we got a copy from the store here where we film, and I was like, this game's really good. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like, we played it like 2 times in the same weekend, which is hard to do sometimes for our group with like the nature of
Yeah,
the
for
show
sure.
and everything.
Yeah.
And then I didn't play it, but you guys played it at like Origins. I was playing Dark Tower, but I was also kind of like, I'm having a really good time playing Dark Tower. Oh, what's going on over there at Merchants? So anyways, Merchants is just, for me, and I played it a few times since then, is just a really interesting and fun game. Does a lot of unique things. I love the art. I love the way the components work and like everything it does. And I don't have the upgraded version, right? There's parts of it that I would like to upgrade, and I don't necessarily feel like I need to upgrade every single aspect of it.
Right.
sure.
The
But-
coins are cool.
Yeah, the coins are cool, and I love the lanterns. Like
Yes.
specifically.
Oh,
Yes.
I have to look at this.
But anyways, this game was just a home run for me that I really did not see coming. So it's just a really nice surprise. Merchants
Cool.
of the Dark Road.
It didn't make my list only because I was kind of the one championing this game. So I was the
Yeah.
one that covered it in Rundown when it was on
When
Kickstarter.
it was on Kickstarter, yep.
And I'd been kind of following it, and so I thought I was going to like it. And I did like it more than I thought I would. Like, I really enjoyed this game, but it wasn't enough of a difference for me to say I was surprised. I was just
Yeah.
like, yay, I liked the game I hoped I was going to like.
Yeah, well,
So,
I like the Kickstarter sounded really cool.
Uh-huh.
Completely forgot about it.
sure.
And then it showed up, like we came back, it was on the table. It's like, oh, cool. I hope
That
this is
always
good.
Such a good feeling.
I hope this is good. And then we played it and it was great.
Yep.
You know, like it wasn't even just good. To me, it was great. So, anyways.
So kind of back off the specific game topic
Yep,
and onto generic things. I am just really glad that our meetups are taking back off again.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
man.
like last year we had a few and they were relatively small, but man, like this year we have really started
Well,
to.
I
We've
can't
gone
wait
from,
to
like-
be able to go again.
We've gone from like 5 to 10 people.
yeah,
Like, well, pre-COVID, we were like 30
people. Yeah,
sometimes 50,
yeah, it
depending on what we were doing. But yeah, like yesterday, right?
was fantastic.
And I will count myself as in attendance.
You were
because
there.
I did play. Also, I played Crokinole with
You did.
James.
Yeah,
Played
yeah.
it a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, but we had like 20 people
Yeah.
throughout the day, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, but here's the other positive, though, right? I was able to bring my kids.
Yep.
And we were goofing around playing Fireball Island, but we were legit playing Coconuts.
yep.
You know, so like it's like Fireball Island for my children is a toy. Clark wants to put the guys on the board and then just put the marbles in and
Try to
knock
knock
them
them
down.
over. Yeah,
You know, Mallory same way. She would play it if I was like trying to set it up.
actually play. Yeah,
But it's a toy, whatever. I mean, that game is good for what it is. And sorry, Bob, I only spent $20 on it.
Yeah.
You know, but we played Coconuts, and Coconuts is from like Mayday Games, I believe. And you got these little monkeys.
Yeah, flipping
and they're
things.
flipping coconuts, and you're trying to get them into cups. You know, and it's just take your turn, boop, 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 boop. But like, if anybody was like standing far away, you just see all these little coconuts like, flying through the air.
Nice.
But we all got to play and have a good time. James sat down and actually asked Mallory to teach him how to play, which I thought was sweet. She beat everybody every time.
Nice.
But I've been playing that game with her since she was 3.
I must destroy her.
She is really good at coconuts. But anyways, it's a legit game. You know, the kids had fun. And so again, right, to the meetups, I was able to bring my kids. Here, you guys play coconuts. I'm going to play Crokinole. You know, and they had a good time.
Yep.
So it not only are the numbers growing, but they're family-friendly events.
Yep.
And I had a bag full of games I could have played with my kids other than just those 2. But
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was great because like I had brought my Orleans, and so
yeah.
David was teaching people that. Like one of the girls that playing it liked it so much, she's like, "Can I still buy this?" I was like, "Well, I think you can get it, but you can't get the wooden bits. You're,
right.
you're gonna get you know, cardboard shit." So the one guy's like, "Man, we have the cardboard shits and we have the coin tokens, and they keep coming off in the bag." So yeah, he was like, "These are really nice." Like, yeah, but I did have to put all those stickers on.
yeah,
But like that game was going at the same time. Foundations was going.
Clan
they were playing,
Catacombs was going.
Catacombs at the same time. You guys were playing Crokinole. Like there's just always people playing all these games. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. And then like we played an 8-player game of Captain Sonar.
damn it,
Man,
damn
that
it.
was so fun.
That is so
Should have been
neat.
there.
That was so fun.
was
I
in
have
Ohio.
literally been trying to get our game group to play that
I know.
for a year.
They waited
Yeah.
till I left.
We did.
This is
specifically.
ridiculous.
But no, it was well, we
whose
tried
copy?
earlier. It was mine. I know. But it was funny though because we dropped a mine down and then we had our torpedoes charged up too. And we exploded the mine like, oh, that's a hit. I'm like, oh, hold time again. We're gonna launch a torpedo while we're at it. And just 2 shots back to back and took them out. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. So that was Dan's most disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. I didn't get to go.
They played Captain Sonar yesterday.
No, that's great, Bob, and you're doing a great job of organizing those and getting those going. And obviously, I think just the world sort of changing again.
Yeah, can you be surprised that there is a world still?
And
there's more people out
and
there.
your consistency, though, right?
Yeah.
Of like keep having them. So even if there's a down one, usually people are like, "Oh, well, when's the next one?"
Right.
You know. And for the most part, I feel like I've seen new faces.
Yeah.
Like when I go, which is great. And I've also seen people I haven't seen in a while. You know, and
Right.
it's like, oh, awesome. So really cool.
I have a couple surprises that are like small that don't need to go that into it.
Yeah.
That I'll do like at the end is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So
Okay.
like I still here's a surprise that for me that I feel like we're gonna talk about for a bit again, kind of like a Wonderland's War and stuff, right? So I used a term in the review. First of all, I used a term for this game when I first played it. Then I'm pretty sure I made sure to say that in the review. Maybe it was before we were recording. I hope not, because I literally was blown away by how good this game was. I'm pretty sure I said this is blowing my mind right now, how good the game was, and that was Wayfarers of the South Tigris.
Oh, I've got it on my list.
I don't know that one.
That's what I
played that
said.
one.
I figured that this. I know you haven't been back yet since we played this one, but I figured this was gonna be on multiple lists, maybe, which is why I said this might be talked about a bit longer. But this is the new Shem Phillips delivery, the start of his new trilogy, the South Tigris. You had North Sea, West Kingdom, and now South Tigris, and it is a worker placement dice placement.
Engine
Engine building.
Tableau building.
Yeah, definitely tableau building. I don't know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic game that is pretty deep going into it. I've heard a lot of people, since we've played it, I've seen a lot of reviews start going up stuff, and a lot of people are comparing it to Paladins, the
Okay.
third
that's why it
one.
counts,
Yeah,
but
the
yeah.
third one of that. A lot of people are saying it kind of feels like this. It has a similar weight, blah, blah, blah. I haven't played Paladins. I only played Architects from that one, which is much lighter. And so this was a nice, crunchy experience with some... Again, Shem Phillips is a genius when it comes to worker placement. And it wasn't just him. This one had a co-designer. I don't know how much each person did, but I just know this is kind of like Shem Phillips' baby, you know? And so I just want to say, like, he's a genius when it comes to designing worker placement games. I mean, the fact that in this one, your workers are all universal colors because... they're not yours. It's just that the colors have to match the locations they're going at. But then if I put this worker out, Spencer might take an action that picks that worker up. And now that worker's Spencer's. And so as you're putting workers out, there can come to a point where I only have one worker and Spencer has 7 because he's been collecting workers. And then he can have this giant turn where he's putting all these guys out and stuff. It's also like, so the spots are blocked when you put workers on it, but it's not blocked because there's a worker there. It's blocked because you can have one of each color there that is allowed to go there.
Depending on the spot. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if this spot allows green and yellow workers to go there, that means you can put green and yellow there. It also means you can have one green and one yellow, which is just interesting to try to manipulate. It also means that spots that can have all 3 colors can have 3 workers placed there before it's full. And that means that if you take that card, you get 3 workers for 1 take action. There is just so many interesting, and that's not even going into the caravan.
Yeah. The dice manipulation
Yeah,
part.
the
Oh,
fantastic dice manipulation where you're literally changing what the faces of your dice mean. Like, you're not changing the dice. They didn't go all Dice Forge on it, right?
Right.
But you're just putting tiles out on this caravan, and then it is vertical columns of when you roll a 2, this is everything that 2 can stand for.
Right.
Fantastic. There are
Yeah.
so many. The only negative to this game for me is it plays slightly long, but I think that's going to come down the more we
once
get
you
used
play
to it.
Yeah.
And you feel bad a lot when you look at other people's tableaus and then your own, and you're like, ugh.
What have I been doing the whole game?
And it's one of those play a super crunchy game for an hour and a half and then score like 40 points.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
you don't
not,
like
that's
that.
not
Yeah, yeah.
terrible. 40 is an okay score.
We just added zeros to this score.
Yeah,
so it makes Dan
exactly.
feel better.
I scored 400. But anyway, it's an amazing game. People should
Well,
play it.
yeah, this was on my list specifically because, well, I'd never played a Shem Phillips. I've always heard great
Oh,
things.
this was your first one.
It was my
too.
first one I've ever played. So I've never played one. And I was kind of like, everybody loves these games. It's probably fine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Pipe.
Yeah, kind of. But we sat down and played this, and I was kind of like Dan, like, what? Like, these do this? Like, huh? Like, and I think I just was like, I'm so impressed with that just because I don't have a lot of these guys, I still had so many actions and things to do and
Yeah.
like ways to stretch out the turn. It freaking blew me away. And
Yeah.
I went from just being like, like, oh, I'll probably like this game. Like, we're sitting down, but I don't really care.
Right.
We felt no urgency to play it. It's like, we played it for the show so we could all do a review. And then we played it, and I was like, wow, this was really good. I don't know that I'm going to run out and buy it because
Sure.
I have access to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like, in my house if I could get it played
Sure.
with. You guys are going to be the people I'm going to get that game played with.
Right.
So sometimes that affects my, do I want to buy it? But do I want to buy it doesn't always affect my score of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Or
right,
my
sure.
feelings about it.
I'm also interested because his trilogies tend to have some overlying mechanics that go into it. And so I'm interested in what that's going to be for this one. Like I would bet at this point that the next one, they're probably going to have the whole take cards, keep the workers thing. That's probably my guess for the overlying thing that's going to kind of be in all of them.
Yeah.
Take the gun, leave the cannoli.
Just because that is a fascinating thing that can fit a lot of systems to where like the dice caravan thing, I don't feel like you can just throw that in any game. You
Right.
have to have an interesting dice placement engine thing going on. And if his next game is that, it's going to feel too similar. But if you just have a whole different feeling game, but there are cards in it, and when you take the cards, you get the workers, I feel like it can still be its own unique
So you're
thing.
calling your shot right now.
Well, I'm not just trying to call it now, but I'm also calling it because, like how you said, I don't always feel like playing it, and I don't. While it blew my mind and I love it, I don't feel the need to buy it, and that partly is because I'm like, the next one's probably going to feel similar and be a bit lighter.
Oh,
I
right.
might be looking forward to
Right.
that.
Sure.
You know, so that's me.
But, obviously it's like, and I'm the last person in the world to know this, but don't sleep on a Shem Phillips game.
I have not played one of the 7 or whatever it is.
Everybody else is like, well, duh, they're all great. But, that's fine. But yeah, I was really glad that we played it.
Sorry,
I'm glad you
Spencer.
backed
Oh,
it.
it's okay.
I just
no,
know
cool.
that we've
Yeah,
talked
no,
for
yeah,
5 minutes
it's
without
really
you being
good.
able to butt
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, I haven't played that one yet. The rest of mine are smaller. Venn diagram.
Oh, nice. This is a surprise for you, you're saying?
No, I was disappointed. with
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It looked like it'd be really awesome, and I really want to play it. And we started to play it, and I'm like, this is kind of not what I was hoping it would be.
Sure.
And part of it is, it's just so the pictures are just so random. It's so hard to get anything out of it. And the components, they underwhelmed me. And I mean, you've got that one spot in the middle. I've never seen anyone ever use that one spot in the middle.
Oh, I have.
Oh,
but-
we did
yeah.
in our game. That doesn't
We've
mean
had
that
it
it did
used.
anything for them.
Oh, no,
but
no.
they used it.
Yeah. No, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
it
get what
was
you're
underwhelming.
saying. There's, I had a really good time with it. I enjoy it.
Right.
I think
Other than the Photoshop. Yeah.
yeah, but
that was another part of it. Yeah.
But I think, and that was a deliberate decision on their behalf.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
Talked to one of the designers, and
Yep.
I asked about that. I enjoyed it. I think the problem for me with Venn, and it's not a disappointment. The problem with me for Venn though is like when I'm going to grab party games right now, that's not what I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing
Right.
Blank Slate. I'm grabbing
Yeah.
Doodle Dash. I'm grabbing.
It's funny. I only grab Venn when I'm going to play party games with Bob, which is a weird decision. I realize that. Bob's colorblind, people. That's a joke for people that knew that already. I realized I then had to explain the joke.
Which makes it funnier.
Yeah. But I mean, I 100% get what you're saying.
It was
No, I'm kind of in the middle of the road. It didn't make either of my lists for me, but yeah, I'm in the middle of the road. I was like, it's supposed to be like a dumb party game, and it was a dumb party game, and I had a good enough time playing it.
Yeah, fair enough. Totally fair. Totally fair. Bob, do you want to? Or I guess you did. I guess I'll go now. One of my biggest surprises was a game I'd never heard of.
Uh-oh.
Again, back here on the table, and there was a couple other games mixed in. I'm like, I don't know. Let's just try this one. War of Whispers. Bobby.
Yeah, it's great.
Not only is it great, like what's really amazing about War of Whispers is in our review, all of our complaints about the game, at least Bob and I's complaints about the game, I even think Dan's, oh, they're warring over
They
there.
are. They're,
Were completely fixed by the deluxe edition.
Dude, the deluxe edition is so cool.
Yeah.
It fixes everything that we had complaints about, and yes,
It looked fantastic on that table.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does.
How much more expensive is it?
It
Like
was
the
20?
cost?
It's like it's like 75,
Oh,
70
okay. So
bucks.
not twice
75?
the cost.
Oh, okay.
70, 75. What's the original? Like 40?
Yeah.
It's got to be around
30?
40.
Yeah. But I mean, the little cities that you put your guys in, the little towers and stuff like that. It really gives it more table presence. And I just think it's super unique that like you're not just playing a single faction. Like sure, you're hoping that one faction does better than the other because it's randomly chosen
Or
at
you're
the beginning.
yeah, but you're actively tanking other factions.
yeah,
Yes,
it
you're
is.
actively working with other factions to tank themselves.
I like saying it's an area control game, but you're playing Wormtongue, right?
Yeah.
Or you're playing what's
Benny,
the
the Benny Gesserit?
Well, yeah, that's a good
No,
one
yeah.
too. Or
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
gonna say the guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Yeah,
Littlefinger.
Baelish.
Yeah, or Littlefinger. Yeah, Baelish. Thank
Same
you.
guy.
Yeah,
Same
I
thing,
know.
same
Yeah.
thing.
But like, it's an area control game where you're playing those guys.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
and what's awesome though also is all the examples we gave are like villains. You know what I mean?
yeah, we're the
all
bad
just-
guys. Oh, for sure.
We're telling leaders to go to war with people.
yeah,
I mean,
so
doesn't
that
make you a
we
good
can
guy.
benefit monetarily.
Sorry, John Bolton.
Yeah, I like that very much.
It's so good.
And there's expansion, Dark Alliances. Never played it.
I haven't
Kind
played
of
it.
curious.
I mean, with
There you
this,
go, Bob.
with this
Yeah,
game,
no,
I'm
yeah.
actually curious about anything that has to do
Yeah.
with this game because
The biggest disappointment with the deluxe edition though is the cards are super warped.
that could just be
That
your
has been
version.
happening to everything you've gotten lately.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Maybe the humidity in my house is bad. I don't know. My hair's just like.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know why this didn't make my list. I guess
it's
because
got a round board.
I have heard about it for a very long time. Yeah, it's true. I love that. Man, you know me, Bob. But I've watched Shut Up and Sit Down did a video on this forever ago that I watched,
Okay.
and I've always been interested, but not enough to do anything. I was just like, that sounds cool. You know, I
Yeah.
like Twilight Imperium. I like Game of Thrones. I like those, and this is like the shady back alley
Yeah.
versions of those games. And so I guess I was like, I'll probably like it, and then I went into it, and yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, this flipped those kind of games, which I love, like
Right.
on its ear.
Yeah.
Take a totally different approach
Different
to play
perspective
it.
from those
yeah,
types of games.
it's
Oh, yeah.
so
I've
good.
never heard
totally
flipped it
love,
on its
like,
ear before.
switching
I don't
sides.
Okay. just- no.
It's a Tibism, I think.
Oh, there you go. You got
Spencer's
someone else.
heard it.
Oh,
Yeah,
the,
Spencer heard it.
the
I'm a
less
writer,
hair
so-
you have. I think I've maybe heard of it before. Like the less hair you have, the closer you get to hearing about it.
Yeah,
could be.
Never
Yeah.
heard of
Your
it.
ears
Yeah.
you
Maybe
see.
once. Yeah, heard of that.
He's all about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all over it.
I basically wrote it.
Basically. That's funny.
I think it's you, Tim.
No, I just did War of Whispers.
You did
War
War
Whispers.
Whispers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. So I only have one more big one, I think, depending on what you guys have on your list, and then just a bunch of small that fit in either category, surprise and disappointment. So
Yeah.
while we still have time to actually talk before we rush a little bit, my big one for me,
It's on my list. It's probably the first one I wrote down.
I don't think so. I don't think you've played it yet.
Oh, never mind then.
So I probably was less disappointed by whatever your number one is.
No, surprised.
Oh, surprise. Yeah, I'm saying disappointment.
Oh,
Is my
disappointment.
one
Okay.
big one left. And that's Endless Winter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I thought I was gonna love it. It does so many things I like. It has deck building. It has worker placement. It's winter themed.
Why don't you like this game?
I know. It has a very interesting engine buildingness to it, which I know all deck builders are engine builders, right? But the way you have
Yeah,
the
no.
moon phase thing
Right.
or whatever
Yeah.
it's called,
Eclipse.
right? Like eclipse phase, the way that works out, like the way that engine building feels, it has so many positives going in, and I've played it multiple times, and it just fell flat both times. I just don't understand. I'm just like, at the end of the game, I just don't feel,
Yeah.
like I did anything. I just
Really hoping the expansions.
Right, we have
Yeah,
played it
yeah.
without any special stuff in it. That's for sure. It was the deluxe edition, but not with any special.
Yeah,
stuff
we didn't play
in
the
it.
cave dwellings or the river
Paintings,
things.
yeah.
Right,
any of that
which
stuff.
looks the most complicated.
I want to play it more so that I can see if I can, wrap my head around it and really get behind it.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I don't
'cause
know.
You actually played it.
Yes, I played it.
separately from us
Oh, yeah,
playing
yeah.
it, and both groups ended up disappointed.
I'm
So
not
that-
as disappointed.
Sure.
But,
Underwhelmed.
Well,
and
you
I'm
also
underwhelmed a bit. So
bought
far.
it.
I did buy it.
So that ups your.
that does. Yeah.
Didn't help
I'm
Great Wall.
But I was sad to hear through, like, I think it was like Mike or something talking on Discord to us or something about, like, yes, you were kind of disappointed too, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that because we played in different groups.
Yeah,
for it.
and we decided we wanted to play it a few more times, see if we could really, figure out how to turn it around.
Crack the code.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really wanted to play with some of those modules, and some of the components look really nice. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I really thought that, not only because it's like insanely hyped and everything right now, so that was me kind of like, okay, this might be a good game, but also I don't know if there's anything it does in it that I don't like. Every mechanic, every art, it also has the Shem Phillips art on it. I don't remember the name of the designer. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Shem Phillips doesn't do it. It's just
It's
all his
McDonald?
games.
Yeah.
something
Well,
McDonald.
it's like
the SJ McDonald
think
right
so.
there.
Might
it's
be.
like me and Foundations
he's
of
a
Rome. I
co-designer.
still want to play the
Oh,
game, but
yeah,
it's
maybe.
not nearly as good as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah, I don't. That's just a big one for me. And I didn't know if you guys had anything to say about it.
No, I haven't played it.
No, I mean that's pretty much in the same boat as you. Like I was kind of underwhelmed. I was really excited for it. I thought it was gonna be super cool. You're looking at all the bits and assembling everything, and like the components, they are fantastic. Everybody gets their own little player tray, you know, and you have these monoliths that you're building and everything, and then I like the art as well. But yeah, it felt a little flat. It needed more, and maybe the more is the expansions that we didn't play with.
Right. It's just
So-
unfortunate because that means that even the retail, not deluxe edition, means that in order to get the full experience out of that game, you got to spend just way
gotta
too
buy a
much
lot of stuff.
money.
Yeah.
Like
that's
so.
fair.
Yeah. That is
fair.
my other big one. So we'll see what else is mentioned.
One that I was disappointed with that we haven't talked about yet was mobile markets. As a lover of smartphone,
Yeah.
I thought mobile markets, like what? It's going to play like faster, like a smaller box game. And I just was not even underwhelmed with it, but just didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, flat out didn't like it.
Do you feel vindicated?
Vindicated? No, this is on my surprised list.
No, but
It was
you don't
better
like
than
smartphone.
Yeah, low bar though.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like that game, so it wasn't hard. I liked the engine I was building in this game more than the one that's in smartphone, but I totally get it. Smartphone is a super well designed game, and I am clearly in the minority here. Like mobile
it's
markets is fine out there. Smartphone people love, so I get it. I'm not trying to jump in on yours. I just
No.
while you're mentioning it, it's actually on my surprise list because I dislike smartphones so much.
But-
and I play mobile markets, I was like, that was fun.
No, but I mean that's the point, right? Like I was disappointed. You liked it, you know.
I enjoyed
that's
it.
totally fair.
Mobile market, you didn't play it.
I've not had a
Mobile
chance.
markets also has it kind of has that race for the galaxy thing going on too.
Oh man, now I have to play.
So
it.
yeah, you might like that feeling for sure.
Yeah, I just didn't have a good time playing it. I actively kind of disliked
Oh
it.
yeah,
a little
Andrew
bit
was
more.
kind of the same way. Andrew
Yeah,
was
but
just,
Andrew's a hater. I don't want to get lumped in
True.
with Andrew.
Sorry, I get you guys confused all the time.
Wait a minute. Tall, lots of hair,
Yeah.
handsome, no hair.
Wait a
short.
minute. Those aren't the opposite of what you said about him.
Oh,
Something's
ugly.
Going, there
I
you
forgot
go.
to say
You
ugly.
forgot to. Okay.
I just, in case he's still listening,
Yeah.
that's where it'll really hurt.
Someday we're gonna like compliment Andrew in a video. I'm so sorry,
Yeah, we'll
dude.
see.
It's like become an accidental in joke
Yeah.
at this point.
I love it. I love it.
You can take it.
He can take it. Yeah, but mobile markets, I was excited to play it because we had gotten it at Origins. I think you picked it up.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, cool.
Origins,
Glad you
yep.
got it. Because then I was like, I'll probably just buy this at Gen Con. You know what I mean? And then I was like, I'm really glad I didn't buy that game. So, yeah, mobile markets. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it outside of our group. So I don't know if it just fell that flat or if it's just not widely out yet. I don't
It
know.
didn't
what's
come
going
out till
on.
November.
Okay.
We got it when I got it at Origins. That was
yeah,
months
that's
before
June,
it
right?
came
Yeah,
out.
it's months.
That's why we were ahead
That
of
reminded me
ahead
of
the curve
one.
on that one.
that I should have on my surprise list.
Okay.
New Frontiers.
Yeah, that was this
Yeah,
year. That surprised
that
me
was
quite
this
a bit too. Again, because it was better than the original to me.
Yeah,
I know that
yeah.
it's like your favorite game ever, but like Race for the Galaxy is like,
What?
and then New Frontiers, I was like, wow, this makes it a board game and it's really good. Like, so yeah.
Yeah. Didn't want to,
Yep. Nope.
jump in, but
Yeah, again, I know that we're
Get to the quick
about
ones.
yeah, we wanted to make this video a certain time. So time for the lightning round. A couple things. I was surprised that Nemesis Lockdown somehow was better than Nemesis.
that's true.
I loved Nemesis. Nemesis Lockdown came out and it changed some things, and I thought they were all positives, and it heightened an already good experience for me. So that was a nice little surprise. I think Tim's going to talk about that one, so I'm going to skip that for now. Disappointment. Origins First Builder.
Oh my gosh, I have that written down. That's my
Really?
last disappointment to
Sorry.
talk about. No, don't apologize. We can knock it out at the
This
same
was
time.
a rough year for Awaken. No, that's not Awaken Realms.
Nope.
That was Adam
No.
Kopinski, who designed for Awaken Realms,
Yes.
which is the publisher of the other one. Never mind then. Sorry, this is like Board and Dice.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tim, you can go ahead and talk about
No, I
Origins
was
if
just
you-
really disappointed. There was like one aspect of the board that seemed completely useless because it constantly reset. So you couldn't build up on that track. So it kind of just made me want to just ignore that track, but
Right.
I kind of didn't feel like you could ignore that track. I don't know. It was really frustrating. It did some interesting things, but my sister was looking at it and I was like, you can have it. You know, like just take it. You've given me plenty of games in the past. Please let this go to a new home because I would have just tried to trade it or sell it.
Sure.
I just didn't like it. I'd play it again just to like
Yep.
see,
To teach me.
you know? Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I
Right.
just really thought I'd like it. didn't love it. Was
Right.
kind of put off by it a little bit, and then you know, again, Julia's like, "Oh, I was interested in that." I'm like, "Here you go. Like, I love you. Have a great day."
Right.
You know. So,
Yeah, it was just a minor disappointment for me. I would gladly play it again. My thing was, it's designed by Adam Kupinski, who has designed some of my favorite games. It's published by Board and Dice. I think whoever publishes it, they make good games. And I just can't remember the name of their company right now. But I remember like looking at their catalog when the game came out and being like, okay, yeah, they make good games. It has worker placement, like dice placement manipulation in it, which I think works out really well in a lot of games. You know, you get your 4 that you put here and stuff like that, and that
Board and
procs
dice.
this. Okay. And yeah, so what Tim was talking about was basically picture. To this day, I question if we played it correctly because the track made that little sense while playing it. Like, picture in your head, I'm not going to get the numbers right. I'm just making it a hyperbolic like example. Picture a track in your head that counts up to 15. You're trying to get 15 points in order to proc something. And every round, we average around 7. And every round, the track resets. And you're like, how do we get to 15?
Yeah.
Like, it kept happening to us.
And
we just
7
didn't
was like
understand.
really focusing and trying to
Right,
work
was like,
that,
this round I'm going to
manipulate
do the
that
track.
Yeah.
Right. And so we were like, how do we get to the good part of the track? It just
Yeah.
didn't make any sense to us. So there were just a lot of, and I only played it once, which is another
Yeah.
reason that's just a minor, upset for me. I was just like, maybe we did something wrong. I don't know. Maybe I just played like garbage. I don't know. Right.
Maybe.
So I would gladly play it again, but I was just like, man, I was really hoping I'd love that one for sure. Massive Darkness 2 surprised me.
I need to have written that
Yep.
down. That shocked me. That I
Especially
enjoyed
because
that.
when we said that we got it, Bob was like, it's crap because you played the first
The first one was crap.
Right. And he was like, I'm just not interested. The first one was crap. And we were like, oh, uh-oh. And then we played it and we were like, Bob, you cray-cray.
Yeah.
Like, this game's really good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was really
It
surprised.
sounds like it changed quite a bit.
Yes, I've heard that it just doesn't feel at all like they should have named it something different. It's almost like they were just relying on the marketing, and like people are saying like it hurt them marketing wise.
Yeah,
people
because the first
didn't
one
like
wasn't
the
very
first one,
good, yeah.
right? But yeah, it is a
Dungeon
crawler.
where everyone has asymmetric. Like totally different play styles. Like I'm doing bag building, you're doing a push your luck card game, you're doing like an area control thing with portals. Like just everyone feels completely different. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and then the way the monsters spawn and like the roaming monsters
Yep.
and the other, all of that stuff just felt really unique for a group who specifically we play a lot of Descent and other, dungeon crawly kind of games, right? And this one just felt totally unique to those, and again, great components and and fun things to do. It was really positive.
I only have 2 left. I figured you were going to mention that one. So
No, because it wasn't a surprise.
Oh, really? I really thought that you were like, I thought it was going to be crap. Okay, well, I'm going to mention the other one really quick first because I'm going to be in the minority here. And who cares? I was just kind of disappointed with Doodle Dash.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
It was very obvious when we played it, when we reviewed it, that I was just kind of like, man, I don't know. It's hard to make a certain type of party game feel super unique. It's a certain system. Just One, Blank Slate, Doodle Dash. They're different games. You can own all. People can like all. Some people can like some, not like others. But they do kind of all just bundle into this very specific type of game to me,
like the
party
wordplay
game,
of it.
right?
Yeah.
And nothing has just come close to Just One yet, and that's just a me thing. But like Blank Slate, super fun, but I'd probably just rather play Just One, And Doodle Dash was just like, let's do like a drawing Just One with like a real time thing that I just didn't care about at all. And so again, who cares, right? It's a $15 party game or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
I was just hoping that I was like, can this do it? And it didn't.
Who will dethrone? Yeah, no, I liked it. I wasn't like surprised that I liked it, but I also
Sure.
wasn't like overwhelmingly amazing. to
Right.
me.
And then the only other one that I thought Tim was the one that was like, I thought it was going to be terrible, but I guess I'm thinking of something else, was I was surprised that, because it was like, when it was announced, people thought it was a joke.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am surprised that Twilight Inscription is actually a legit good roll and
I
write.
guess I could say I'm surprised that I love a roll and write as much as I love Twilight Inscription.
Yeah.
That is in the running for my game of the year.
Wow.
Like I love
awesome.
Twilight Inscription that much, but I also thought I was gonna like it because I love that theme.
Right.
I love Twilight.
You've got the other. I
mean,
is it Rex?
I've got Rex.
Yeah.
I've got Twilight Imperium. Dan and I are resident Twilight Imperium fans. Spencer. You love that game too.
Yeah, I like it.
But
Again, I would say I thought I was going to like it too, because again, like some of the other stuff I mentioned, I had watched videos ahead of time of the designer explaining how certain things worked, and you see the artwork and the final component stuff, and I was like, it looks pretty good. You know, I like that universe. I think this might be the one to like actually make me enjoy a roll and ride and stuff like that. You know, I think the surprise for me is really the fact that it worked that well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it
that's
really
fair.
does feel like a well fleshed out. It's not a tacked on theme.
I was surprised
like,
it plays as fast as it
and
does.
that too. Yeah, it is. a
Especially with new
surprisingly-
players, 8 players, you know,
well,
whatever.
again, simultaneous
Those
stuff.
actions,
A lot of
yeah.
simultaneous stuff going on there. So do that more often, guys. But I was surprised that it was that good and just worked that well. You know, it wasn't clunky. It wasn't like too heavy, but
Yeah.
there's a good level of like depth and skill and stuff in there too. Like it is such a weird mishmash of things, and yet somehow makes the most delicious shepherd's pie I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
again, you get all these different weird mechanics, jumble them all together, and it's like, oh.
goose.
Yeah. Yeah. And one mechanic that I don't always love, and that's rolling rights. Like
Right.
that
right.
is, you know,
I usually dislike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is everything that I have written down.
Okay.
I think
got a
you'll like
couple
my
more.
biggest surprise, or the last surprise
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
talk
okay.
about.
Yeah, because
Are you-
that's the one you thought I was going to have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to being like, duh.
Yeah, I technically have 2. One you won't have a comment on, but
Right.
Well, so I have 2 that are surprises mainly because I just didn't see them coming. Belgian Beer Race.
Oh, yeah.
haven't
Yeah, I
played,
haven't played
but
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
It was fun.
yeah, it was very fun. I liked
Yeah.
it a lot, and I'd never even heard of it until
Okay.
Julie showed me, and
Oh,
I,
sure.
I really liked it.
Damn you, Julia.
Yeah,
She strikes
Julia,
again.
thank you.
I know.
And the other one is not one you guys may have played because it's a kids game. Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy.
Oh, I got that. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. Yummy
It's
Yummy
not on my
Monster
list, but
Tummy
yes.
is. I was not expecting it to be a game that not only my kids would want, but I liked playing it with them. It's actually a pretty
Sure.
good game.
Nice.
Yeah, because you're playing the cards,
Yeah, you're
trying
playing
to
the
match
cards.
the colors.
Yeah,
that you
but
think-
if you're with a bunch of different people and you see one person play this card that's a totally wrong color, and you're like, can I fix this?
right.
And yeah, I've seen really crazy combinations, and it makes sense. I
Yeah,
like it.
very cool. Very cool.
The one more I have, kind of a surprise because I was getting really nervous as it was getting closer to being released, and I know that I might be the only one here who likes it. Is Flamecraft.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Haven't played it.
because I play with my kids.
I've heard
and they
middling
like it.
things though about
It's-
it. Like
it's
almost that it
middling
was too
for
light.
me.
People like it. Some people don't. I liked it. My kids like it a lot,
Great.
and so yeah, I can play
Hey,
with them
you
anytime.
can sit down and play with your family. It's already worth it.
Absolutely.
You can play it a bunch.
I think that this game might suffer. Calling my shot. No, I think this game might suffer for being so overhyped for a while, and it's a good game, but it's not the greatest, deepest thing you'll ever play.
Well, it's not supposed to be.
But it was hyped
I think
that way.
I think a lot of people saw that it was going to be that, but I was looking really deeply into what it was, and I was like, yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
little,
no.
little
Hey, I'm
thing.
just saying that Reddit and forums and stuff ran away with this Flamecraft game.
And they were also
it's Reddit.
I was just saying a
The-
forum.
the-
you know,
the,
I'm not on Reddit. I was just saying a.
But also
forum
the
name.
art drew a lot of buzz,
yeah.
right? Everybody
Yep.
loved the art and the
Zendara,
theme,
yeah.
very cute. You know, that drew a lot of attention and buzz. So
Again, I would
art's
probably
still
give
fantastic.
it around that 7.5 good game rating. It's just that I just remember people being like, dude, Flamecraft. It might be the game of 2022, Flamecraft. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's good. You know?
I have one other one that hasn't been mentioned yet. Julia mentioned it at Origins, but I couldn't find it there. And then I kind of forgot about it. But then while we were working the booth at Gen Con, the booth next door had Acropolis. And it kept selling out. I'm like, I should better get over there and get a copy of this. And it's great. It's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's a cheap little tile laying, building
you can play that
up,
game
like,
5 times and your cost per play is down to like $1.
yeah, and it's just fantastic. You know, I was really surprised by.
That is a value buy.
Yeah.
Like 100% a
That
value
price
buy.
is insane.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bought it when it was on a Black Friday sale, and I basically got it for free. But that game is, I'm just saying, that game is so cheap.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
the good experience you're getting.
I liked it, and it's very accessible.
Yep.
You know, I had no complaints about the game or anything. I enjoyed it when I
It,
played
it just surprised me.
Yeah.
It's a very good
How
family
clever.
weight.
Yeah.
Another
tile
another
game.
surprise we had the same, just like down the place
Turing
from-
machine.
Turing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is.
It was a
Very
Fun,
crunchy,
fun puzzle.
It was a
Yeah,
surprise in
puzzle.
the way that I had never heard of it until that day, but the second I heard about it, I was like, okay, well, this might be one of my favorite games of all time. So, you know.
So real quick, I'll talk about Mission Control
Oh,
at
yeah.
Gen Con. Sorry, Dan.
What's that?
Sorry, Dan. It was
Watch our video of that. It was so much fun.
they
You'll notice
provided.
I'm not there.
They provided. Dan's holding the camera. They provided an amazing
that was great.
experience at their Gen Con booth. But I legitimately feel like this is a game that I want to own.
Yes.
When it comes out. I know that you're not going to have the giant, you know,
Notepad. You're not gonna have the guy in the suit like announcing
and
things.
you're not going to have the easels,
Yeah.
you know.
You could do that easily.
But this is 3WS Games. We met the designers while we were there. They were just
Yeah.
super nice dudes.
Yep.
And actually, you know, kind of made some friends and some good connections through
Yeah.
this as well. But just what a surprising and amazing experience, because what I was like, whatever day of Gen Con that was, and it was like, I'm getting messages. Tim, as soon as you're done, get over here to blah, blah, blah booth number.
I got the same
We're
message.
going to play Mission Control. Aye, Captain. Ran down there, no regrets. It was great. Fantastic. And then the biggest surprise for me this year, I was excited about this, but I didn't expect to love this game the way that I do, and I'm so mad that I can't get my hands on it yet, and that is Marvel Remix, sir.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The only reason here's why I didn't include that, Tim. I think I played Fantasy Realms last year, so it's the same game.
Oh, fair.
And that's the only reason I didn't count it.
Okay.
But yes, it's amazing.
I think that what Marvel Remix does for me that kind of puts it over Fantasy Realms, and not
Puts
just
Marvel on it?
Not just that, but the way that they actually make the theme matter.
Sure.
Because you have the villain,
Villains, yeah.
and then your hero, and so you're literally building up these villains, and you have to fight, or these heroes, and you have to fight the villain. And if you have too many villains, it's negative points because you can't combat the villains effectively, right? So you have to essentially build this super team to cancel out the villain. So, you know, and do the things that actually cancel out the villain.
Yep.
You know, and it takes Fantasy Realms, which is an excellent game, and then just turns it up to 11.
For sure.
By
would like to play that
by
again.
adding a theme that is not generic, not only not generic, like, oh, we threw Marvel on this, but actually made the theme like integral to the game.
It kind of makes it easier to teach because you're saying at the end of the game you are making the fight scenario. So so the locations
Yeah.
in your hand are where they're fighting.
Locations, yes.
You have to have a villain to make the fight. Your allies are helping your heroes fight.
Thor
And
is
so-
stronger with Mjolnir.
Right,
Who knew?
Thor is strong
What?
with Mjolnir. It also adds the flip mechanic, which is
Yeah.
a fantastic mechanic. Where like, so you might have Thor, Odin's son, and then when you get him Mjolnir, he flips around and now he's got a thunder, right? And he's more powerful and has more tags. It's just really good.
It's just really well done. I was surprised at how, not only how much I loved it, but how well they implemented that theme.
Yeah,
into the game.
that is true. I was surprised with how not pasted on it feels.
Yes,
for sure.
I was totally just expecting it to be a pasted on theme, but like, I don't care. It's got better art.
Right.
You know,
And like it is a paste on theme, but like it doesn't feel like it at all. They clearly put effort into
Yeah.
being like, you know, this matters because of this. I
Yeah.
don't know why that's their voice, but
They always talk like that.
Dan met the designer.
hey, I'm
Yay!
designing here.
It's a pizza pie.
I don't know. I really hope it's not an Italian designer. I don't know who designed it.
Or
I'm
a
very
New Yorker,
sorry.
I don't know.
Good point. Good point. It's a mixture
Yeah,
for me.
Massachusetts, maybe Jersey.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. But anyways, anybody got anything else like
No.
big to hit?
No.
So these are just, you know, like obviously, just based on our own personal, you know, things, because clearly like Dan, you know, has had a different experience with something that maybe I did or you did, right?
Yeah.
And so you saw it as a surprise, you know, and I saw it as a negative, or vice versa.
Sure.
And so it's kind of an interesting thing to do. I thought it'd be better as it suited as just a topic, because we could have a free form conversation about
Right.
it. Because then it's not like, well, it was my number 5, but we already talked about it.
Sure.
You know, and then, well, I'm going to save that for when we get to my disappointments. I just rather like, oh no, I found this
Yeah.
disappointing because of this, or, you know.
There was a lot of other things that I enjoyed, but like I wasn't surprised by it.
Sure. No. I mean, we go into a lot of games going, I'm probably going to like this, or I'm not going to like
Like
this.
Perseverance, I figured I was gonna like that.
Yeah.
And we are planning on making like our actual favorite of
Yes.
the year.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
not
will-
like a
which is
top 10
different.
new to me.
We're going to be doing that right after the first of the year, because we want it to be pure list.
Yep.
Because honestly, Christmas is around the corner. We're potentially getting some new games. Hopefully, we get
hopefully.
some new games, and there might be some games that make your game of the year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or having access to a game that you already kind of liked pushes it over,
Oh yeah.
Sure.
you know, the edge, because you get to play it a little bit more, you know, and dig into it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll see. Anything else, then, boys?
What did you guys
Oh,
find
good
surprising
job, Dan.
or disappointing that we didn't mention? Or perhaps that you feel the opposite as us? Like how a surprise for me and a disappointment for them was mobile markets kind of thing. Like, is there anything that you guys disagree with us on?
I was surprised that Mike and Dan are not Mike and Dan. You're Dan. Mike and Andrew are as good on the show as they are. Is that a backhanded?
I'm surprised that they enjoy our company.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys keep showing up every week to hang out with me.
Well,
Yeah.
most of the time.
It's because I got a show.
I got nothing else to do.
You want to be on my show? Be on my show. Be on my show.
I got to get ready for work.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sitting through this list or topic. And I keep calling it a list.
He's calling a list. not a
Yeah,
list.
but
I mean, we listed things.
We
There
did.
just weren't
Sure.
oh, Dan's got the glasses down on the nose, so you know he's being intellectual.
I am correct.
Oh yeah, and correct.
I am now incorrect.
Oh,
I am correct.
all right. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. For the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
That was Bob.
Spencer.
Dan,
We're all surprised and a little disappointed.
in you.
Correct.
Thanks for watching.